Ivanisevic wins Wimbledon. Goran Ivanisevic was done and dusted. His shoulder had been giving him trouble for years. His ranking had plummeted to 125 in the world, and he hadn't reached a slam final since 1998. Most people thought his best days were long gone, and honestly, so did he. No one, I repeat, no one thought he was going to make history at Wimbledon 2001. He was given a wild card at that event. Well, just because Wimbledon liked him. The guy wasn't even supposed to go past the first week. What happened next was incredible. Ivanisevic started playing like never before. He took down Carlos Moya, Andy Roddick, and Marat Safin. These are all top-tier names, folks. Moya, a former French Open champ, Roddick, a future world number one, and Safin, a two-time slam winner. And suddenly, the guy who looked like he was in that event for one last paycheck was in the final. Ivanisevic was up against Pat Rafter, who was in great form at that tournament. The final was insane. 5 sets of pure chaos. At one point, Goran was serving for the match, and he double faulted. Not once, but twice. Classic meltdown incoming, right? But no. He regrouped, fought back, and ended up winning the final. The crowd lost it, and Goran went down to the floor, sobbing. And just like that, he became the first ever wildcard to win Wimbledon. For a guy who was on the brink of retirement and ranked 125th in the world, this achievement was nothing short of historic. From washed up to Wimbledon champion. No one could have predicted this. Djokovic defaulted. Novak Djokovic doesn't lose early in Grand Slams. Something like this just doesn't happen. So, when he stepped on the court at US Open 2020, he was the heavy favorite to win. Everyone basically penciled his name for the title. But something happened in the 4th round that nobody saw coming. Not even the harshest critics could see it coming. Novak was up against Pablo Carreño Busta. Thanks to Busta's flawless display and some unforced errors by Djokovic, the Serbian ended up losing the game. That was a shocker in itself, but Djokovic was so frustrated after losing that he hit a ball at the back of the court which accidentally struck a line umpire in the throat. She dropped immediately. Everyone knew it. Even Novak himself knew that he was about to get defaulted. Within minutes, the referees came out, had a short discussion, and then disqualified. And just like that, a player who was undefeated that season and was dubbed to win the title was gone. It was the first time in history a world number one had been defaulted from a slam. The tennis world was shocked. The tournament was wide open after his disqualification. We saw a Grand Slam with no big three in the semis for the first time in forever. The Serbian was vilified by some and defended by others. But one thing was for sure, it was a plot twist that no one expected from the usually composed Novak Djokovic. Serena Williams loses to Roberta Vinci. Serena was on the verge of making history at the 2015 US Open. She had already claimed the Australian Open, the French Open, and Wimbledon. Just one more tournament, and the calendar slam. All 4 majors in 1 year would be hers. She cruised smoothly through the early rounds. People were already talking about the coronation ceremony. Then came the semifinal. Serena was up against Roberta Vinci, a 32-year-old Italian veteran ranked outside the top 40. Vinci had never reached a slam semifinal before. Vinci was a solid player for sure, but defeating a mentality monster like Serena in the semis? Nah, that's impossible, right? But in 3 unbelievable sets, Vinci shocked the whole world. The whole New York crowd went silent. At the post-match interview, Vinci was as shocked as everyone else watching. Even Vinci was shocked. She said, "I'm sorry guys, it's Serena," in her on-court interview, laughing through the disbelief. What makes this even crazier is that Vinci lost the final to her Italian compatriot Flavia Pennetta, who retired from the sport right after winning. So not only did Vinci ruin Serena's calendar slam dreams, she set up one of the weirdest, most emotional slam finals in history. Ashleigh Barty's retirement. In a normal world, most players retire when their rankings drop, their bodies give up, or when they just fade away. But Ash Barty, she had something else planned for herself. Barty won the Australian Open, reached the world number 1 spot, and then said, "Yeah, I'm done with this sport," just like that. No scandal, no injury, and no slow fade. Just pure mic drop. At only 25 years of age, Barty shocked the world by announcing her retirement in 2022. The reason? Barty said she had achieved everything she ever wanted in this sport, and now is the right time for her to chase other dreams. I mean, good for her, but nobody saw this coming, not even her fellow players. At first, people thought it was a prank, but no, it was real. Barty went out on top with 3 Grand Slams, the love of the tennis world, and a reputation as one of the classiest athletes ever. What made it even more astonishing was that Barty was also a former pro cricketer and junior golf talent. She's just built differently, a twist ending to a career that felt like it still had so many chapters left. Naomi Osaka's US Open win. Naomi Osaka's first Grand Slam title should have been the happiest moments of her life. It's supposed to be like that, right? But instead, it turned into one of the most controversial and awkward plot twists ever. Osaka was just 20 when she stepped onto the court to play the 2018 US Open final against her idol, Serena Williams. Everything was going smoothly until Serena got hit with a code violation for coaching and a point penalty for smashing her racket. She was furious and couldn't control her emotions. She demanded an apology from the umpire for the coaching violation and ended up calling him a liar and a thief for stealing a point. This resulted in a game penalty for verbal abuse. After that, the entire match spiraled into chaos. The crowd turned toxic, and Osaka looked like she wanted to disappear. To rub salt into the wounds of Serena, Osaka won the match. She beat Serena in straight sets. But during the trophy ceremony, Osaka started crying. To her, it felt like she'd ruined Serena's moment and didn't receive the joyous celebration that usually comes with a first slam. The crowd started booing. Not at her, but at the umpire. Osaka thought they were booing her, and she started crying. She was visibly overwhelmed by the pressure, the controversy, and the fact that she had just beaten her childhood idol. Osaka even apologized for winning in such a messy and emotional moment, even though she did nothing wrong. Osaka handled the situation with incredible grace and composure. In the years after, she became a symbol of quiet strength and honesty. But in that one moment, her life-changing win didn't feel like one. The hero lost and the underdog won, but it still didn't feel like a win. Federer blows 2 match points against Djokovic. Imagine having 2 championship points on your own serve on center court at Wimbledon. You're Roger Federer. The crowd is behind you. You're playing near perfect tennis, and you're just 1 point away. Twice. And then, you end up losing the match. That's exactly what happened in the 2019 Wimbledon final. It was Djokovic versus Federer, a classic already. The match went on for 5 hours. It was the longest final in Wimbledon history. At 8-7 in the deciding 5th set, Federer had 2 match points on his serve. Everyone thought it was done. The King of Grass was on the verge of winning his 9th Wimbledon title, but Novak saved both somehow with ice in his veins. He broke back, then held, and eventually, in the first ever 5th set tiebreak at Wimbledon, he won it. The crowd was stunned. Even Federer himself couldn't believe what he did. Honestly, we all needed therapy after that one. What made it even more painful was that Federer actually won more points than Djokovic in the match. 218 to 204. But in tennis, it's not about how many points you win, it's about which ones. A plot twist where the hero has the ending in hand, but then it slips away. Brutal. 2009 US Open Final. Roger Federer was on a roll in 2009. He won 5 straight US Open titles, and he was on his way to grab a 6th. He was facing Juan Martín del Potro, a big-hitting 20-year-old from Argentina. But no matter who the opponent is, Federer was Federer, and everyone expected a routine win. Except Del Potro didn't care one bit about the script. He was there to do his own thing, and that's what he did. He came back from a set down, smashed forehands like missiles, and was able to outlast Federer in 5 epic sets. It was one of the biggest upsets in Slam Finals history. It was Potro's first and only Grand Slam win. Federer lost a US Open final for the first time, and tennis got a new and lovable underdog. It was supposed to be the start of something special. but injuries derailed Del Potro's career. Still, for one magical tournament, he was the king. Monica Seles gets stabbed. This wasn't just a plot twist. It was a real-life tragedy. Monica Seles was the undisputed queen of tennis in 1993. She had already claimed 8 Grand Slams at the age of just 19 and was even dominating a legend like Steffi Graf. But then things took a drastic turn for her. She was playing a match in Hamburg when a fan ran onto the court from the crowd and stabbed Seles in the back. Why did he do it? Because he was obsessed with Steffi Graf and wanted to take Seles out of the picture. It was one of the most horrifying moments in tennis history. Thankfully, Seles survived the attack, but the trauma ran deep. She was out for over 2 years, and even when she returned, she was never quite the same. She did win one more slam after coming back, but that unstoppable and fearless version of Monica Seles that we witnessed before was gone. A career that could have easily produced 15-plus Grand Slams was derailed in the most horrifying way possible. No one saw it coming, and no one will ever forget it. Emma Raducanu's US Open win. You want a Cinderella story? Try this one. Emma Raducanu entered the US Open as a qualifier in 2021. This means that she had to win 3 matches just to make it to the main draw. No expectation, no pressure. Just a teenage girl playing her first full season on the tour. She had nothing to lose and everything to gain. But then she started winning, and she kept on winning without dropping a single set. Before anyone knew it, she was in the final against another teenager, Leylah Fernandez. Guess what? She won that too. She won the final in straight sets as well. A whole tournament without dropping a single set. It was an unbelievable achievement for her. From a qualifier to a Grand Slam champion, Raducanu became the first qualifier in history to win a slam. But here's the twist. It came out of nowhere, and then it disappeared. Emma hasn't made it past the second round of a slam since. What went wrong? Who knows? Many factors may have played a role. Injuries, constant coaching changes, and the weight of sudden global fame. After her historic win, Raducanu struggled to find rhythm and stability, both physically and mentally. It was a once-in-a-lifetime rise, but the aftermath was harder than anyone expected. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be posting a lot here. Until next time.